You know how some people have a texting persona that's like really different from their in-person persona? Why are you
She,
fighting with your therapist?
we're just always fighting because,
Okay, I immediately have a question that I need your help with
please.
because I feel so rocked by it every single month. And it's like kind of become an issue in my relationship. Hey, welcome back. This is Not For Everyone, starring Jess DeBakey, our lover, and me, Caroline Winkler, your hater. We are just doing our best out here, and sometimes we're not even really doing that. But
That's so true. That's a
true.
good revelation to share with everyone.
I don't actually want. As soon as I said it, I was like, I don't want to set the standard that I'm always trying my best. That's sounds boring.
Setting me up for failure.
Yeah. Okay, I immediately have a question that I need your help with.
Please.
Somebody DM'd us a hot take, and I have no idea what this means.
I think I saw it.
I have no idea what this means, and I'm hoping maybe you know, and if you don't, we're just going to live Google.
Okay.
Okay, somebody just DM'd hot take, corporate gulp.
I know what it is.
What is that?
I did not see this DM, but I know what that is. Okay. Have you seen any of these like TikToks and reels and stuff going around lately that are, I think this has been a trend for a while, like corporate comedy on TikTok and stuff. So there are certain people now who are doing like a whole character where they're like your nonprofit boss or your project manager or whatever. And
Like things that the nonprofit boss says.
Exactly, but the whole reel is like in character, and they'll kind of start it and be like, "Okay, thanks everyone for joining the meeting today," and they'll do this little gulp. Today we're gonna, and they're always kind of like clutching. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see what I'm doing. They're kind of like clutching their cardigan, and they're holding their like mug. Shoot,
What was that?
something got. Hold on, I hit something. 1 second.
Okay, technical glitch. Abby, you can take this out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Why are you? I see. Okay, so we'll get back to it. So they're like clutching their cardigan and holding their tea, and they're like, we had to reduce our workforce. Gulp. And
that was your gulp? Okay.
that's the gulp. It's like a slight like, and and they like, I wish I had like a script in front of me so I could do it better. But it's this character. There's this one person who does it on Instagram. Her name is Lisa Beasley, and I recently started following her. I think her actual like comedy profile is called Corporate Erin, Erin, and she's hilarious. And just like for anybody who's worked not only in the corporate world, but I think especially in like remote corporate settings, she's spot on. And so the corporate gulp is a weird thing that
It rings true.
Like,
It's part of like corporate cadence, kind of. Like I sometimes I talk about how there's a YouTube cadence, which is so crazy. Or it's not YouTube, it's like influencer cadence. Kind of like an influencer accent, but a corporate.
exactly.
Ooh.
It's like that. But I don't know if anyone, like, it's so weird because when I see the corporate gulp happening in these TikToks, I'm like, I know exactly what that is. And I feel like it rings true.
Okay.
But then if I try to think of somebody that I've actually worked with who did that in real life, like I can't name it. It's just like these people, like bosses in the ether that like we don't remember them. We don't even know them, but we know that they're there and that we've seen it before, and that the gulp triggers a deep guttural upset in a corporate employee.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I can picture the gulp, but it sounds like at the very least it captures a spirit of corporate. Okay.
I don't know what the hot take is other than, I guess the hot take is like, I don't know if this is an actual thing.
Okay.
But I simultaneously feel very seen by it, or like I enjoy the content,
Okay. It's like spirit of the law versus letter of the law.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Do you remember that from theology class?
Yeah, from Bible studies. Or
from our Bible studies? Wait, maybe real quick fix your mic cord or something in case something's like maybe ticking a little. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just hearing your corporate accent coming through.
Yeah, maybe it's just my gulp. Or I think the mic is going to be more sensitive with this new setting we have on. So if you're just like hearing my movements, then get used to it. But
get used to it. Ooh, she's sassing. I really liked that character you did though. Can you give me another like line of a manager announcing something? She immediately clutches her cardigan. She pulls her cardigan. Yeah, I can pull the cardigan closed.
Yeah, what would they say? They would just be like, you know, in thinking about our OKRs for this quarter, we're really going to need to collaborate with our cross organization stakeholders to
oh my god
really
I do hate that gulp,
that we are aligned on our mission and that we're full steam ahead.
Okay, I see it now.
that was the best one I've done. That was
that was the best. That's the best gulp she gulped.
I'm not much of an impressionist, but that felt like the spirit of the law was in me.
Spirit of the law. So upsetting. So upsetting.
Truly. I've been dealing with it. I've been actually seeing myself like lean into the corporate of it all recently. I think because I just have been realizing like work is so boring to me and it's not my main priority, but I do it and I'm fine at it and whatever. But something that makes it more fun is kind of when you like pretend to care a little.
Yeah.
You know, like lean in. Like I've been setting up one-on-one meetings with people that I don't usually talk to.
People that are not your subordinates. And you're just being like.
Just to be like, hey.
Checking
like,
in.
What's up with you? And I think part of it is that I want to kind of know the tea. I want to like talk to them about the hot goss that might be going on at the company. But then I think also I'm just kind of like, I'm bored and you're probably bored too. Let's just like have a meeting and see if there's any alignment that comes out of it. No. Just like see if we can have fun for 30 minutes in the middle of this boring ass day. Like I've been leaning into networking and like asking people like what they think of the new strategy.
Oh my god, say another word.
Like how they feel about the top-down nature of the organizational changes. Like I can turn it on. I used a word in therapy this week. What did I say? My therapist was like, "I'm sorry, what?" Oh, I said the word table stakes, which might actually be two words.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
So it's definitely like a gambling term.
You just flipped your hair as you started to describe table stakes.
Table stakes. I think it definitely comes from like gambling, which I don't know anything about. But in the corporate world, if you say something is table stakes, it means that it's like, it's a given. That was already on the table. That's not even what we're talking about. Like, oh, that's table stakes. We're talking about this.
Table stakes.
So I feel like I said that in therapy this week about like a relationship issue where I was like, yeah, that part's table stakes. Like I'm talking about this. And Barbara was like, I'm sorry, who are you? And what have you done with Jessica?
Table stakes.
But it just comes over me. I say that leverage a lot. Oh, there's so many words.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. None of them are real. Isn't that funny how like they're not real? We need different words to properly wear the costume of working your job.
Yeah. But like you said, I guess it applies to lots of things. Like YouTubers and influencers and stuff have their own language and costume.
I always like to think about why for any kind of dialect, like I think there's usually physiological or psychological reasons they evolve. Like they don't evolve for no reason. I think certain dialects throughout the world evolve based on like topography and how sound moves like in valleys. I don't know. I'm just a scientist. I don't know. Moving on. I don't know. Don't look it up. But maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. But for the influencer cadence, it's because they're trying not to say filler words.
Yes.
And so then they're whoops, I said it anyway. Buying time.
But dragging things out.
Dragging things out, and they're not speaking freely, so they're trying to think about whatever script they're trying to say and not say filler words so they don't have to edit them out. And then it ends up being this lilty thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I have been stressed about my filler words lately, I will say.
Same, dude. Why are we weak? We're so weak.
It's like nobody even said anything. It wasn't even based on a comment. It was just my own. You know, it's because we're still editing and Abby's not back. I cannot bear to listen to myself back. I don't want to know what I sounded like and what I said, even though usually by the end I'm happy with it and I'm laughing and I'm like, damn, she's smart, but I just don't like how it sounds. I don't want to have to think about it.
When I'm editing the episode now, I don't even listen to most of it. I just look at the lines in the audio and I see if there's an isolated blip. It's like a 99% chance it's an me just screaming in the beginning, in the middle of a sentence when like nothing need to happen, or it's me blowing out the mic. And other than that, everything's fine. So I'm putting these episodes out. I don't know what's in them.
It is really funny when I'm taking notes, like listening back to an episode and jotting down like, oh, just want to fix that part, how it's like, turn down the volume on Caroline yelling here. Like, cut me doing the corporate gulp here. Like, it really is those sounds.
Why do they do the corporate gulp? I'm so interested in that. What is that? It feels like anxiety. They're swallowing something. They're swallowing their will to live. They're swallowing their will to throw themselves out a window.
They're swallowing their dignity because they have
they're
to
swallowing
lead the
their
team
dignity
through this fucking torture. I don't really know where that comes from, but I think it's similar to what you're saying about the influencers. Like, there must be, I really think a lot of this stuff is like somebody did it and then everybody
emulated it,
mimicked it. Because there's a lot of things that I say or ways that I talk in the corporate world that I know the same way that you might be talking and like all of a sudden hear your mom come out of you and you're like, what the fuck?
Wow.
It's the same. It's like I can hear old managers coming out of me at certain moments. Or
because that's what it looks like. And it does help. It's silly and it's superficial, but it does help to make you, same way putting on the suit makes you seem a little bit more like somebody who would wear a suit. Yeah.
Right. Which I am not. There was another hot take that I thought you were going to go for.
Oh, give it to me.
And I don't remember what it was, but I'm going to quickly search for it. Because it was like silly, I think.
Okay, I like that.
Sometimes you guys send us hot takes and I'm like, why do you want to know? Like, why? Like, I almost want to know how this came up in your life.
Did we have a whole hot take on it? Well, my hot take on corporate gulp is I don't know what that is. Jess's is she knows. It sounds like she may do.
I don't think I do it, but I do a lot of other corporate isms that fall in the same category. Yeah. Need me. That was my read on it. I have some random thoughts to talk about today.
Yeah, give it to me.
Last week we talked about my comedy class and how it was kind of stressing me out and like an added thing on my plate. So literally the day after Caroline and I recorded that and had that conversation, I processed it further and decided to quit it officially, which was a joyful moment that really should have happened sooner. But anyway, felt great. And so then I was like, okay, I have been trying to write comedy for the last couple of weeks with little avail, but at least now I have some fodder for the podcast.
Yeah.
So you can see why I quit my stand-up class, because none of these are that good, but they are good enough to talk about here. And that is why I love it here.
I'll give it a that's so funny. A fat
yeah,
so
please.
Okay, hit me.
So let me find the first one. Okay, here's a quick hitter.
She's already laughing at her own joke.
I know, but I tried it on like several people and it didn't work.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's funny. Do you roll up your sleeves when you eat? This is actually a question to you.
Only if it's like a bell.
Okay.
But actually I would never wear a bell sleeve. So maybe just like a long loose I would roll up a little.
Loose, like a sweater that's kind of chunk.
Yeah.
I roll up my sleeves instinctively like every single time. For some reason, no matter what the sleeve is, I'm trying to roll up short sleeves. I'm like, they're in the way. And then I just had this realization the other day where I was like, why do people roll up their sleeves when they eat? Have you ever spilled on your wrists?
Oh, man. That is so funny. Oh, no.
I think it's hilarious. And I also quit my stand-up class because of this joke. No, there's more.
Okay. I love this.
This is me bombing on my own podcast. Okay, next. Okay, one of the most stressful things that a friend can say to you is, remind me to give you the gift I have for you.
That's good. That's good.
There's something there. I didn't write the rest of the joke, but there's something fucking there. It's like,
yeah, I agree. It's like, this is on me now? What?
Especially when it's a situation where it's not like Christmas gifts where you're equally exchanging or something. Like my friend, a friend of mine had a gift for me just out of the blue. There was no holiday or occasion. It wasn't a situation where we were going to be exchanging. And said that to me when I ran into her at the gym. And I was like, listen, I can't do that. Like,
right. So after this workout class, I'm going to be like, hey, where's my gift? Right. Hey, where's my goodie bag, huh? No,
every time I see you, text you beforehand to remind you to bring it. Like,
bring my gift.
It's the most aggressive thing that someone can do to you, actually.
Even if you give me a gift, then you've started by giving me the punishment of having to like present as a weirdly like greedy, hungry person,
right?
Which is something I think a lot of people don't want to be interpreted as. For me, actually being asked if anyone says "remind me to," I'm already pissed. Like,
right? Why?
No, why?
Remind your fucking self.
You're asking the wrong person. You have the wherewithal to say those words. Make an audio like reminder on your phone. You can do that. Now I have to carry the burden of something I don't care about. Well, I probably wasn't going to remember it even if this was my problem.
Because they want to be able to say, you didn't remind me. Yeah, guess what? It's not my job.
And I won't. Now I have to remind you to have a moment where I look like a greedy little piggy for my gift. No.
It's really the most ridiculous scenario to be put in. And like, as a people pleaser, I want to do what they're asking me. And also, as a people pleaser, I don't want to ask you for anything, let alone
She's short-circuited. She's short-circuited.
It's like, what? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that joke, there was something there. There was potential.
That was great. I laughed hard. Did you ever get your gift?
I did. It was a sweatshirt.
How did you end up? That's very nice. How did you end up asking for it? Were you like, give me that, I'm ready for that.
Listen to this.
That. I want that.
I told her that I was maybe going to write a joke about that.
Okay.
And that's how I brought it up. I was like, you know, when you told me to ask you to remind me about the gift, I find that impossible to do, and therefore I'm writing a joke about it. But here's your reminder, me bringing up this joke. You know, she laughed, and then I got the sweatshirt.
Okay, sweet.
Win-win. Okay.
More comedy, please.
Okay. The best thing about having a boyfriend is coming home to find out how they decided to make the bed that day. The joke isn't fully formed after that sentence, but basically, and Ryan and I don't live together or anything, but sometimes he'll stay here and like I'll be out of the door earlier in the morning than him, and he'll stay and leave whenever he's ready to go to work.
Do something creative.
Yeah, and the bed is made differently every time. We've done tutorials. We've spent time, concerted quality time together, learning this is how I make it, and this is where each pillow goes.
I've seen the pillows under the blankets. I've seen the pillows under the blankets before.
100%. The blanket just pulled over the top, like hiding everything else. It's quilts, like in a weird quilts at the bottom underneath the sheet, the top sheet. Decorative pillows, like,
is this
in between the main pillows, like just
just in a row.
Just in a row.
Maybe this is how men express themselves creatively.
I think it's how they express that they feel like trapped by us or something. I'm always like, do you really hate it here that much that you can't just like fucking figure out the bed? Like,
I didn't ask him to make the bed. I didn't ask him. He's like, I do live on my own. But thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, that was something.
That was good. I gave like
relatable.
A low. Yeah, it's relatable.
Damn. Really, the wrist spilling one was like my big hitter.
Well, I think what really worked about that joke is how you were like, oh, do you ever do that? And I was like, no. And you're like, anyway, so people do that. Why'd they do that? So I was like, you've lost the premise.
I wouldn't have done it that way on stage. I wasn't going to do crowd work with that one. I just felt like I'm on a podcast right now. Maybe I should make it interactive. And I quickly learned I shouldn't.
Crowd of one. Not great odds.
Okay, the rest of these things are more like sad.
That does sound funny. No, I want to hear them.
They're not even really jokes. They were just thoughts that I had. Like,
okay.
Do you ever get a screen time notification that yours was down last week and get upset because that means you were probably working a lot? Do you know what I'm saying? It's a lot to process. It's too much. But basically, like...
No, I follow it.
Okay.
I guess I don't relate. I'm just always like good for me. I'm always just like good for me.
Oh, I won't give myself the win. I'll be like, oh, that's because you were like miserable and working. You know? Okay, so that one's not funny and not anything.
No, I feel sad. I feel sad.
Good.
Yeah, I feel sad.
Okay. This is a petty complaint.
Totally.
I actually thought of this one like yesterday, so it wasn't for my comedy class. It was just a thought. I just get really pissed off by people who... an example is like people who order a dirty martini at a dive bar and like get upset when it's bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, read the room.
Know where you are.
Like the lobster in a diner reference I made a few weeks ago. Like, just fucking, you can do that, sure, but be prepared for it to be bad. There's a certain type of person that like thinks everything is an attack on them, I think, and they are those people.
Oh, that's a good call.
Very victim-y. This is no longer stand-up. You can express your thoughts.
I can just express. I agree. I have nothing to add. I'm so dry. I'm so dry.
I'll keep going.
In my heart. Okay.
I was trying... Okay. Really, a lot of the problem I had with my stand-up class was that I was trying to write a set about something that, like, meant something to me or that I thought was going to help people or, like, be meaningful in some way. In the past, when I've done stand-up, I've kind of just, like, anchored around a stupid story from my life that's inherently a funny story and maybe, like, woven in a few other jokes as I tell it. But it's never been, like, a commentary on, like, something. And I kind of wanted to challenge myself to make it more of a commentary on something, and that was really hard to do because I also feel like that's what we do here. So I started out trying to write some jokes about not wanting kids or not thinking that I want kids. And so I was working on a joke that was, like people... Some people will argue that, like, a woman's body is made to give birth. And I would say, like, since when is that the barometer for us doing things? Like, there's so many things that our bodies are meant to do that we don't, that we override. And there's so many things our bodies are not meant to do that we make them do anyway.
Yeah. And
then I was going to list examples, ending with the best example, which is blowjobs. That's not natural. We're doing it anyway. So, yeah, I was trying to work on a joke about that. It was just really hard. It was really hard to, like... I think I was putting a lot of pressure on myself with this class. Like, at the end of the day, it was a class for novices. So it didn't need to be that good. But I was like, I want to say something that matters and that's so relatable and so funny. And, like, I just was wanting to get to, like, the epitome of what stand-up comedians are that I, like, watch on TV or go see live. And I just was coming up with, like, these mundane little things, which, you know, one of those stand-ups could turn into a whole set. And I probably could if I had more capacity for it or felt funnier. I don't really feel very funny right now. Like,
I don't think I haven't said anything funny this entire podcast. I understand.
I know
Sometimes
you
it's
understand.
Just gone. Sometimes it's just gone.
Why do you feel it's gone for you without saying too much?
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
You look beautiful and glowing. You really
That's
do.
the highlighter. That's the highlighter. That's not my talent.
It is, but
of course. Yeah.
How long have you not been feeling funny?
Like 28 minutes.
You felt funny coming into this?
Yeah, right before we started recording.
No shit.
No, I didn't feel funny. I haven't talked to anyone in like 3 days. So like sometimes, you know, you haven't spoken and you're like, I don't know what it's going to sound like when I start.
Right.
Yeah.
I do know.
I've been thinking a lot about how much I think my period just affects everything.
Oh.
Do you think that my humor is in my period?
And it's bleeding out.
No. No. No, I was going to say I'm not funny until I get my period and then it comes out. Because I'm getting my period tomorrow, so I might be funny tomorrow.
Don't have your period, okay?
I don't have my period. I'm trying to understand when I'm going to be funny again, and maybe it's when I have my period.
Maybe it's when you have the period. Interesting.
Or maybe it's during my ocular phase. Or what are the other phases? I'm in my luteal phase right now. And it's not feeling very funny. Yeah, I'm in my lute. I'm in my luteal for sure.
Okay, hold on.
You know why? I started keeping a period journal because it literally, I bought a planner just to track not just my period, but every single day and how I feel and what my appetite is and what my attitude is.
Why?
And what my energy is, because I feel so rocked by it every single month. And it's like kind of become possibly an issue in my relationships. Yeah.
The period, the planner, the
way that I choose to live my life.
Like I'm kind of wondering if the tracking of it feels like it's helping or hurting, because I could see it going either way.
Well, I haven't been trying it for a while that closely, and that didn't seem to be helping. So I think tracking it helps, because just to be able to anticipate, like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to cry all day. I'm going to cry all day. And then the next day I'm going to want to pick a fight over everything. And then the next day I'm going to have no energy. I'm not going to want to do work. And it's like,
I know.
Somebody told me that men also have a cycle, but it's a daily cycle, and they go through their whole hormonal cycle in a day.
I actually have heard that. That's wild.
Which makes me just want to, like, on to every man any day, I can just be like, oh, you're on your cycle. Oh, you're on your cycle.
That's a good joke. Hey, that's stand-up. You were funny.
That's funny. That's funny. I want to die.
That's real funny.
You're on your cycle. Oh, you're cycling.
Speaking of cycles,
say that to your dad, or say that to your boyfriend. Say that to your boyfriend. See how well they respond.
Speaking of cycles and boyfriends, I was like, I talked about it last week, how I was feeling like I kept overbooking myself, and I was telling Ryan about it, and I was like, I feel like maybe it's seasonal, like maybe I can just handle doing a little bit less in the winter because I'm tired and it's darker, and, you know, I can't expect myself to handle a schedule that looks like my July schedule when it's January, February. Maybe it's seasonal, and I think it just goes in these phases. And he was like, yeah, maybe, but I feel like with you, it's not really like these long seasonal phases. It's more like every 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And he was like, you know, like, you'll have 1 week where you're really, really busy and you're like doing everything. And then the next week you'll feel like really tired and burnt out and sad from it and just like crash. And then you'll be like, next week I need to like do more to feel better. So then you do that, and it like maybe works for a week, but then by week 2, it's too much again.
Yeah.
And then the cycle repeats. And I was like, you're not invited to my home anymore.
Yeah, the boyfriends are calling us out.
Everyone's calling us out. My therapist is calling me out.
Bitch, fire her. That's not what she's supposed to do.
I know. My best friend Angela.
I'm joking, everybody. A therapist.
I'll never fire her.
You should. First of all, Jess will never fire a therapist. They're basically dating, but also you should find a therapist who is comfortable pushing back. Because the whole point is to learn something new about yourself. Learn something you didn't know before. La, 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 la,
Totally.
Who cares? Who cares? Whatever. Why are you fighting with your therapist?
We're just always fighting because I'll say something. I'll be like, and I don't know why I'm being this way. And she's like, you don't know why?
You're like, no, I don't, Barbara, because you're bad at your job.
And I'm like, well, okay, I guess I could I guess I do know some reasons. And she's like, tell me. And I'm like,
God.
I both know the reasons, but I also just want to say that I don't know why so that I can just breathe for a second.
I'm so fed up with everything. I'm fed up with this. Yeah, why do I have to know? Why do I have to know stuff about myself? Why do I have to have a cycle?
But the thing is, too, that in this same breath, in this same conversation with her,
in the same corporate gulp
with my therapist, she was like, you know, hun, we've been doing this for close to 10 years.
Oh my God.
I was like, bitch, I fucking know. Never leave me. She was like, this is actually pretty interesting. She was like, this talk therapy is what's called insight-based therapy. And you have all the insights. Like when you're feeling a certain way, you know what you're feeling. You can articulate it. You can separate emotion from like truth and fact and logic and still let yourself feel it. You can root it back to things that have happened in your past that make you this way. You can figure out how you should handle it and how you should communicate with that person and blah, 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 blah. You have the insights. This is insight-based therapy. You've been doing it for 9 years. You have them. And she was like, if there's still like a block for you in certain things you're trying to get past in your life, like we've already tried the insights. And she's like, I love talking to you and you can always talk to me and I want I want to support you.
Wait, what?
But she wasn't breaking up with me, don't worry. But well, maybe she kind of was. She was basically referring me to a different type of therapy.
Oh shit.
She was like, at this point, like you got the insights. I'm going to refer you to this different therapist. And she was like, you can still see me. It's different. You're not even going to be talking with her. It's like a whole different approach to kind of like trauma-based stuff. But she was like, that being said, when I refer people out to this person, like a lot of times they don't come back to me anymore because it just kind of like helps them so much more and not to say fixes them, but like kind of fixes them.
Did she say what kind of therapy it was? Was like EMDR or something?
It's EMDR.
Yeah. Oh, yo, it's all the rave.
Have
all the
you
rage.
Done it? All the rage. It is all the rage.
All the rave. I don't know what the word
as
is.
I bring it up to people, people are like, oh, I did that. And I'm like, you don't seem that healed, so I'm
worried. That's the thing. Anybody who talks about going to therapy, they're the least healed people. Like case in point.
We're spiraling all the time.
Yeah. No, I haven't done it, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and I think I was like, it's like rapid eye movement and like tapping and stuff, and what I guess it works. I don't fucking know.
Prince Harry famously did it and televised it. Like, actually, one of the assignments that this EMDR therapist asked me to do before our first session was
to televise
to go watch to go watch his EMDR session on YouTube. Because I think he did that so that people could have resources and awareness because it really helped him, and so that people could see exactly what it is.
I feel like
I haven't watched that yet, but I'm going to. And it is interesting. Like it's this eye movement, rapid eye movement, like bilateral stimulation thing where basically they, whether it's with light or with sound or different sensory triggers, they have you kind of like do repeated patterns, left, right, left, right, left, right
with your eyes
or with your hands.
Seems hard.
Or just like listening.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be really repetitive and probably gets really boring. But I guess it stimulates both sides of your brain and helps traumatic memories, whether they are memories that we are consciously aware of or memories that happen like before we were even capable of remembering. helps those memories like integrate and normalize. Like the way that Barbara explained it to me is, if I ask you about a traumatic event that happened in your life, you can tell me about it right away. You can describe like the scene and the feeling and the this and then that and what was said and what was done and whatever. But if I ask you about what you had for lunch on Monday, you'll have to spend a second like getting that out of the filing cabinet. Like it's there.
Different kind of memory.
It's a different kind of memory. Apparently EMDR like integrates traumatic memories and kind of normalizes them so that they're not like at the forefront of your brain. And so that your body when it's triggered by something similar doesn't have the same like reaction. And I'm sure that there are therapists listening and saying, feeling like I'm not describing it right. I'm not a therapist. Please, if this interests you, talk to a doctor or a therapist. Do your own research. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna maybe try that. And
that sounds awesome.
Barbara was like, we might never talk again because you might be healed.
That's
and I was
wild.
Like, you've been holding this from me for this long because you love me. Yeah.
That's crazy to hear because at least the premise of that, I feel like I relate to a lot. I've gone to therapy for so long and like I can intellectualize all these things. I can talk about them like pretty articulately. I can like name the thing that's happening. And like my emotional center has not caught up with what I can intellectualize. Like my emotions have not caught up with my logic. And sometimes I feel like I'm stuck. I think I've even said that to therapists before. Like, I get it. I know this. I know that. I see this. I see that. I don't know how much more I can change. Like, it doesn't seem like it's, I don't want to say it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, but I do feel silly sometimes walking into therapy over and over and being like, yeah, I want to talk about my lack of self-worth again. Like, I want to talk about how anxious I feel again. And sometimes I feel like, I don't know. Sometimes I get actually caught up in how exhausting it must be as a therapist too. I think one of the things I like loosely considered, did I want to go to psychology at some point? And I was like, I really don't think that I could handle or have the patience to handle people who like weren't really changing and talking about the same thing over and over. And I have changed a lot. I would say I feel unrecognizable from a person I was a few years ago, from years before that, blah, blah, blah. But there are common themes that I keep talking about. Yeah. And I don't know. Sometimes I just want to smash my brain in.
I know. Yeah, this is really, that was what Barbara said, was like, she recommends this for people who really are like stuck in exactly what you just said. I definitely have felt that silliness going into therapy and being like, so we're going to talk about this again, or like, I haven't done anything about this situation since the last 7 times we've talked, but let's repeat everything I feel about it one more time just to make sure that we know how I feel.
Or I like describe something and they're like, who does that? Do you know who I'm going to say that sounds like? And I'll be like, let me guess, my dad. Like, there's only ever like 2 answers.
I know. It's like,
my mom or my dad. Wow,
who does that remind you of? I hate that question. I'm like,
your mom,
fucking
Barbara.
My mom,
sounds like your mom. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
You're not so perfect. Sometimes I want to be aggressive and I'll be like, I bet you're not, but you're
that's the good thing with
you're
me and
weird
Barb,
too.
Since we are in a relationship, is that she will tell me sometimes, like, my husband is like that. Like if Brian and I are like not, having a conflict or something that we just are not like seeing the same way, or not being able to, we definitely process conflict, me and him, really differently. And my therapist has been like, oh, my husband and I are the same way. And she'll tell me a little ditty and I'm like, okay, your life isn't perfect just because you give me the advice. So that does help like humanize.
They're not.
But also what you were saying reminded me of one of my favorite shows that needs to come back. Did you ever end up watching it? It's called Shrinking on Apple TV. I think I talked about it on the podcast at one point.
I think you talked about it.
You should definitely watch it if you're like looking for a show that will make you honestly maybe feel good for the exact mood you're in this week. Because it's like funny and light, but also thought provoking and relatable, and short episodes, one season. And it's about this guy who's a therapist, and how at the very beginning, I'm not giving anything away by saying this, literally in the first episode, you see him seeing the same clients over and over like a long stretch of time, and he just becomes enraged with the fact that they are not doing anything about these problems, and he just has to sit there and listen and support them. And the whole show is about kind of how he starts to like bridge that gap and start to get more involved and meddle more and more, because he's just like annoyed that they're not doing anything in their lives, and he's also projecting a little because he's not doing anything in his life. Anyway, such a fucking good show. I think it's probably relatable to everyone who's done therapy for a long amount of time, or to anyone who like provides it. I don't fucking know. I don't know. What?
I don't know.
What would it be like if I didn't have to like talk about all this stuff all the time? Like what would it be like if I didn't have all these emotions and anxieties and triggers and traumas?
Probably like maybe I'd have a dog or something. Or like some other hobby.
I think I would have a dog.
Yeah, do you think I'd have a dog?
I think you'd have a dog. I think you might have a cat.
Ooh.
No, maybe you'd have a dog. I think you could handle a cat today, but a dog you can't handle. That's for sure.
Don't want it. Don't want it at all. I don't. Okay, I have nothing constructive to say. Should we
move on? Do you have other?
Yeah, I liked that, but I have nothing to say.
I don't have anything more to say about it.
I love that. Okay, that's good.
Good job.
Good, very good. I loved that. Okay. Okay, I have a question.
Acting?
I don't know. Is she acting? What the heck did they think I was acting about? I have a question.
Maybe when you say you loved it, but I don't know if you did.
Somebody called me out on that. I think I was like, oh, that's hilarious. I didn't say it like that. And this guy was like, somehow I don't think you thought that was hilarious.
Oh, you told that story, Justin's brother, right?
Yeah. I was like, fuck. Okay, well, sorry you weren't that funny. Like, what do you want me to do? Sorry.
It's like the problem that every, how do I explain this? Okay. It's like when so many people who go on reality shows are actors or like trying to be actors, and they end up getting cast on The Bachelor or whatever. And then the thing that follows them the whole season is like, she's an actress. Like, you can't even believe how she feels about it. You know,
the world's best actress.
They don't have feelings, actually. Everything is acting.
Okay, little squeesh.
Tell me, squeeshy squeesh.
You know how some people have a texting persona that's like really different from their in-person persona?
Yes.
I don't really know how that fissure happens. It's like very interesting to me. And also I was just thinking about like people who have texting personas that I cannot tolerate. That like, even though I understand it's just their texting persona, I'm so upset all the time.
So what are the categories of like, this type of texter is a no for me?
I mean, I'll still text them, but I'm going to be mad at them constantly.
The whole time. Yeah.
I'm going to call out my friend Lean. My friend Lean is such a dry texter. First of all, I think the driest texters are usually these days in their 40s. It's like Gen X or whatever. They didn't grow up with the same texting culture. I used to have to text a lot of like 40-year-olds when I was doing a lot of babysitting. And I'd be like texting the mom, and that shit, it's like, do you hate me? Every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Things ending with a period, okay with a period. Like, there's nothing, they're not. Texting a 40-year-old is one of the most stressful things you can do in your life, I'm going to say.
Right.
And my friend Lean kind of texts like that, and I've talked to her about it. I've talked to them about it before and been like, hello, are you excited? Send me a single heart. And they were like, I text for logistics. Like, they've acknowledged that's infuriating. I think it's a power ploy. But they know I hate it, and they won't stop.
It's interesting because I feel like you've also said that you would prefer to be that type of texter.
I do say that, but I don't do it.
Logistics. I don't do it. To like feign enthusiasm.
No, but here's the thing. I text for logistics. Like, I don't want to fucking hear your inner monologue. Right. I want to text when we're trying to meet up or anything, but I can still throw a heart in there. I can still throw an exclamation point or like a silly face or like a pea emoji of like a pea pod.
Right.
Yeah, that's do. Yeah, I do, and I do.
And you do, and you do.
And I do, and I do.
And I do, and I do, and I do.
And I do. What, is that a song?
I don't know what that is.
That is a song.
It is.
What is that?
Or
how can you?
And I
how
don't,
can?
And I don't, and I don't. Is it I don't?
Well, I don't know now.
Whenever I say I don't, and I'm thinking musically, I think of that Red Hot Chili Peppers song where they go, I don't. Do you know that song?
No.
It's called Other Side by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I don't.
Yeah.
They just say don't.
Yeah, they say it's don't, but they say don't. They say, I don't believe it's bad. Anyway,
Okay, I don't.
Fired.
What was that song? Wasn't that a song? Or I do?
Maybe I wrote it.
How can we look that up? Here,
I write songs all day long.
No. I write songs all day long. I just wrote one. Shazam. Wait, pull out your Shazam. Shazam this and see if anything comes up.
I can't because you're in my headphones. You sing it, I'll sing it after. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, are you Shazamming?
Siri, what song is this? Go. Listening. Oh.
I like what you do with your shoulders when you do that. Is that doing anything? Okay, wait, hold on. I'm going to Shazam
No
this.
song found.
Shazam. Hold on.
Maybe it was do.
Maybe it was do. And I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do. Oh, it's got to keep going. And I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do. And I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do.
It sounds very like Arabic. Honestly, sounds like music from the old country to me.
And I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do. Wait, it's almost there. No result. Okay. No. Okay.
No, go back to the texting.
Wait, what was I saying?
About lean and the fact that they text very dry, like a 40-year-old.
Yes.
And it's texting so different from their personality.
Texting a 70-year-old. Texting a 70-year-old, and they're hitting you with ellipses at the end of just like sentences.
Terrible.
Hope you have a good trip. ... What? Are you
following me onto the plane and hijacking it?
You're gonna murder me. Happy birthday. ... Get the fuck. I'm gonna block you.
It is
Grandma.
Really
I'm gonna block you.
It is really fucking tough.
Yeah. What's your least favorite texting persona?
I mean, dry texting is really hard for me.
Yeah.
I will say I've gotten a little bit better at accepting it because, okay, I think this is something that dry texters say to just feel better about themselves. But
they're trying. It's a power ploy. It's a power ploy.
I know, but I also think there's something to it, which is like that the dry texters are actually like the most fun people in person. And they're just conserving energy. Like, that's what they say to get away with it. And sometimes it's true. Sometimes it's not true.
I feel like
I will allow that statement to be made on occasion.
Okay, I'll allow it. I can think of people that I will allow it for and people that I will not.
Ryan, I wouldn't call him a dry texter.
Well, he's a man. They have a whole different language.
He's a man. And he's also about to turn 40, to be fair. So
oh, it's about to be bad. That's about to be
going to get worse.
You're going to get your good morning text is going to be a okay, period.
I think he knows. I've trained him well enough where he knows that that's like will not stand here. But yeah, I feel like I've been investing a lot in like getting a little bit more out of our texting interactions over the last couple years, and it's about to just plummet.
Oh, okay. You've been investing a lot with him in that, like you've been coaching him?
I would say so. He doesn't know he's being coached.
That's the best way to do it. What are you doing to him?
That's how I do most things. Unlike the making of the beds where it was very clear I was trying to coach, and he has rebelled.
Yeah.
He has not taken any of my lessons.
How do you coach him? Are you trying to give him like positive feedback when he like ends with an exclamation point and you're like, I really like that. That makes me feel good. Can you imagine?
I think it's a little bit like learning his patterns. For example, if we're in a fast back and forth on texting, it's a lot better than if he just responds to something like an hour or two later. That's usually when I'm going to get the driest response. But if we're in a back and forth, I'll get glimmers of like intrigue from him. And I'm like, say more about that. Or I'm like, oh, maybe I'll send a GIF. And that'll really get him like, oh, she's excited now. And then he'll elaborate a little bit more. Or like, you just have to take the opportunities when there's a sparkle of hope and be like, okay, I might be busy. I might have to like go run to do something right now, but I'm going to stay in this acting text conversation because it's an opportunity for him to see how great it can be when the back and forth is like lively, you know?
Oh, okay.
So it's more like, it's like classically conditioning. It's like, I'll give you more if you give me more. Maybe it's matching energies a little bit. You know?
Sounds good. It's too bad it's about to end.
Right. Right. I'm planning a surprise for him for his birthday. And I guess I can't say more about it because
tell us.
To this.
No, just tell him not to listen. Tell us. I want to know. I don't give a shit about what he wants.
Okay, I don't think he's gonna listen, and I'll just tell him not to. So I reached out to his best friend who lives in Seattle, who I've never met, but I've heard a lot about, and they just like haven't been able to really visit each other and see each other in the last couple of years. And I DM'd him and I was like, hi, it's me. Do you know who I am?
Oh, you're so cute.
I was like pretty weird about it. I was like, I'm Ryan's girlfriend. Like, do you know that? And it's okay if you don't. And he was like, I know who you are, Jess. I was like, cool. This was actually all an elaborate ploy to
Can you imagine
if he talks about me. So
can you imagine not knowing who your best friend's partner was?
Boys don't talk about like anything. Like
that's actually true. That is actually true. That's true.
So and then I was like, basically I invited us to visit him, but I just asked like, I want to do something special for Ryan's birthday. It's a big birthday. I know you guys haven't seen each other in a while, and I'd love to meet you. Like, what if we came to Seattle? And what if you also asked, like, this other friend if he could make the flight and whatever? And so we're doing it, and Ryan doesn't know yet. I'm probably going to, like, it's a trip, so I feel like I'm going to tell him ahead of time.
You're not going to tell him on the plane?
Right. Like, he needs to know a little bit.
Bag over his head.
Him for Valentine's or something. And he also is a person that, like, needs to be able to, like, pre-process and plan ahead. Yeah, like, wrap his head around, like, we're going to be on a trip for 4 days. I'm going to see my friend. Let me, like, get in the headspace.
Oh.
So I'll give him that heads up. But, yeah, he doesn't currently know. I'm really excited. And I've never been there before. And I've never met this friend. And I am being quite overbearing in all of our communications.
Okay.
Like, I just want to be communicative and collaborative and corporate gulp.
So you're being overbearing.
So I'm being overbearing where I'm like, I'm going to just so you know, I am going to let Ryan know ahead of time. I'll let you know once I do so that you guys can talk about like things you'd want to do. And I definitely will be down for like doing most of the things with you, but I'll also make sure to like leave you to your one-on-one time because I know other people who are in Seattle and like I'll just go hang out with them and whatever, blah, blah. And I just sent like this long text to that effect and he was like, he like hearted it. And I was like, okay.
Okay. Are you mad at me?
Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know what this heart means. Yeah, so
that sounds really
texting,
sweet. That sounds
excited.
really sweet. Surprises are so stressful because, like, I feel like doing a surprise birthday party or something like that is not the way that you're doing it because you are going to let him know and then blah, blah.
Yeah.
But when you're doing, a lot of times when people are doing, like, a surprise birthday party, you have to first kind of trick the person into thinking you're not giving them a birthday party or something. And it's like, It's stressful.
They're sad before they're happy. Like,
yeah, and then you have to like
everyone forgot their birthday until 7 p.m. when they show up at the party and everyone's there.
And then there's no time to process it because you have to like instantly switch into whatever you're supposed to perform for a surprise thing. I think
surprises are not for everyone. Like, that's actually, I think, a key question to know about your partner or your best friends or whatever. Is like, do you like surprises? Do you only like certain types of surprises, like small surprises versus big ones like that?
Do you want a surprise, JJ?
I like a surprise. However, I am extremely hard to surprise because I am so controlling and overbearing and such a planner, and I will not let you not tell me everything that's going on. So if you can pull off a surprise for me,
I won't try. I would never try.
That's amazing. Yeah. The only person who has done it, my mom did a surprise party for me once when I was like 21. Maybe it was 21 or 20. Maybe it was 20. And she like texted one of my best friends from college to text all the other people and surprised me. Like, I came home and they were all there. So cute. I don't know. Some people can do it. I guess my mom was like an unsuspecting person.
Villain.
Like, I wouldn't have really guessed that she was gonna do that for me. So when she did,
nice.
It was very surprising. Friends would probably be harder, or partner would be harder too.
Yeah, you have to hurt them first.
Yeah. Do you basically like surprises?
I don't know if I've ever really had a surprise something.
What about even in a small way of like
in a small way? Sure.
A little like,
I think I always
put on your best outfit because we're going to do something that's a surprise.
Sounds amazing. I think I receive surprises weirdly because I get
I just learned that very well. I didn't even have anything to give you and you got super weird about it.
I think I immediately get stressed out. I get a little stressed out receiving like any gift because I immediately go into the mode of like I have to communicate the correct flavor of gratitude. Mm-hmm. And I like many times have actually put my foot in my mouth trying to be grateful for a gift and actually just like insulted somebody or like negated the next gift they were going to give me or something. So I think with surprises it's kind of similar. It's like I'm not going to have a human reaction.
Yeah.
Just to start off.
The negating the next gift is really funny. It's like, oh, I'm so glad you got me this and not that. And then the second box
it's not like that. Not like that. Well, kind of like what being like. I think about this day. This is one of my worst days ever as a child, which is going to tell you how magical and charmed my childhood was. Mm-hmm. But I think about this all the time. This one Christmas, I was 11. My mom gave me this like floor length like matron's nightgown for an 11-year-old. And I think it's often with gifts that I don't really know why I got it that I go really hard into justifying to them like, oh, this was a really good gift for this reason. And I get very anxious about it. And so I was just like, oh, like this is such a good gift, Mom, this crazy fucking nightgown you gave me, that's such a good gift because now I don't have to wear slippers and like I hate wearing slippers and like it covers my toes. Like why is this 11-year-old wearing a nightgown that covers my toes? And I just kept like talking about how much I fucking hated slippers, and then like the next gift she gave me I unwrapped was slippers, and I had to be like, oh, I'm so or one time my sister gave me, this was pretty bad. One time, this was really my fault. One time my sister gave me this gift. It was Christmas. I really ruin Christmas quite frequently. And it was like this really weird shape. And I sat down to open it. And we were doing this whole weird, we were like testing out a new tradition in our family where we would open each one gift at Christmas breakfast. And it was very like performative. Mm-hmm. She gave me this weird package. And I was like, wow, this must be a rolling pin. La, 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 la. And then I opened it and it was a rolling pin. Oh, no. And I had to like the quickest transition of my life being like, oh, good. Like,
the reason I said that is because I've actually really been needing one.
I mean, it was actually so thoughtful. I don't know why I like thought to make, I don't even know why I said it jokingly because I was doing a lot of baking and she was just, it was one of my worst moments. And she was just like, oh, like I thought you could use it for all the baking you've been doing. And I was like, yeah, I could use that. But I just completely, like, there was no recovering. I've done that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm familiar because gift giving in my family is like the most stressful thing. Actually, around the holidays, when we were eliciting input on like what we should talk about on our holiday episode, like going home, surviving the holidays at home.
Yeah.
A lot of people wrote in about gifts and like how to handle the pressures and stress and like
it's so
different
weird.
dynamics, and it is really revealing of like just the differences in people. I think
your mental illness
is very like, I think gifts is probably one of her main love languages actually, and she loves a great gift because it makes her feel really seen and like that person gets me, and like it just like it lands perfectly. But that makes it a lot harder for it to land because it feels like there's so much pressure on it. When it isn't a perfect gift for her, she can feel like, why would they get me this? Like, they clearly don't understand me. Like, I even just said recently that I don't really like these things, or and the person must have just missed. My mom is like the type of person who goes a million miles a minute, and she probably missed the fact that you said that once or whatever. And it just creates like so many dynamics at Christmas time. This year we decided not to do family gifts.
Oh, that's so nice.
I've been begging for it for years because I'm like, listen, we're adults. I'm 32. Caitlin's 28. We are lucky to make a good living and buy ourselves whatever we want.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was meaningful when we used to give each other like once, like in the Middle Ages, and you would turn 16 and you would get like one silken
box of baby teeth,
headscarf or something, or like a chicken or whatever, and you'd be like, oh, I could never get this chicken on my own. But now it's like, I can buy any chicken. I can get any chicken any time of day. I can get a chicken fucking Uber Eats now.
I know. I could have 7 chickens right now.
Yeah.
No, I know. And it is still meaningful. Like, I always say, if somebody really has a specific gift that they saw, that they want to get me, that they feel like Jess will love this, I really appreciate it. And I'm actually really good at, I'll open any gift and be excited about it, like whether I deep down am or not. I'm a good person to give a gift to because I'm not putting too much weight on it, and I'll just be happy to receive it. But that being said, I don't like collecting a lot of junk and like just like getting gifts to get gifts. And especially from my parents, and it's like, I know that they, especially my mom, feels really good to get us stuff at Christmas, and it's like a tradition, and maybe it even reminds her of like when we were little and we would get showered with gifts and whatever. But it makes me feel gross that my parents are buying me, an adult woman, like all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, if there's something specific you want to get me, get it. But otherwise, I really don't want to do this anymore. And we finally stopped this year. My mom still got us one thing each. Like, she couldn't help herself. And I gave everyone cards and looked like the best daughter and sister in the world because no one else wrote fucking cards. And yeah, we did like a weird Target challenge that my sister saw on TikTok that was actually really funny to do as a family, where we all went to Target together and picked names out of a hat in the parking lot of like basically someone that would be our Secret Santa. And then you have to go into Target, you have a $50 budget, and you have to get like one thing that they need, one thing that, a snack, and like a wild card, like really easy parameters.
For someone in your family?
Yeah, so like I got my dad, my sister got me, and we just like ran around Target, tried to avoid each other. Like we would run into each other in like the aisles and be like, you can't see what I'm getting. You can't know who my Secret Santa is. And then we went home and opened them, and it was actually like pretty funny, and it was just light stuff.
That's adorable.
So there's nothing to get,
there's
like,
no pressure
about.
Yeah. I do like that because it's like it's still something to do, and it's something, I thought about you a little bit, but only 5 minutes in Target.
Exactly. Only for the 20-minute time span that we had allotted and the $50 budget that we all had. Like,
oh, that is nice. I like it.
Yeah. Gifts are weird.
Totally.
Surprises are weird.
Well, surprise. It's the end of the episode.
Wow. What do you think? about that.
I don't know. I was expecting a little bit of a better reaction from you, I guess.
That it's over?
Well, that was the surprise.
Oh.
Ooh, it stopped recording for me.
Ooh. Do you know when?
Just now.
Okay.
Maybe just
start at end of the episode again.
I don't know if it's going to keep going. Let me see. Oh. Okay, it's going again. JK. My audio stopped for a second. Jess, you want to sync up with me? Hello?
Yeah. Hi.
Great.
We're back. Okay, so, I guess it's over.
Okay.
I was going to throw a lot more hot fire comedy at you. No, I have nothing.
You did.
I gave you my best, which also happens to be my worst. Okay.
I laughed a lot.
Thank you so much. No, this was right for today. And if you don't agree, it's your fault for being here. Thanks for listening.
Steven has our email. Ask Steven for the email.
Yeah. This has been Not For Everyone. I'm Jess. You can find me on Instagram, JZDeBakey. You can find Caroline on YouTube, Caroline Winkler. And you can follow us at Not For Everyone Pod on Instagram. Not the number 4, Everyone Pod. You can also find us on YouTube. All of our episodes are in video form there. Just search the podcast name. We frickin' appreciate ya.
So.
Thanks for bearing with us. Thanks for being open to the surprises today. I think that's really fucking it.
That's it. Great job.
Great job.